Chapter 8, Book 1, Sociological Theories, Emphasis on Social Process, presented by Jose Fajarqui, Maria Gonzalez, Satibek Shakojan. Learning theories that my portion are divided into three: differential association, differential identification, social learning theories. Differential association by Edwin Sutherland, who in 1947 presented proposition of his belief how criminal behavior is learned. Criminal behavior is learned by interacting with others in society. It's also learned within intimate personal groups, as friends, from a school, for example, in a neighborhood. This process as well is learned within our family structure. Criminal behavior is learned by mastering how to commit a crime. Back in the time, we all know a famous guy by his crime commission, Al Capone. It's learned by getting knowledge about the law and crimes. The more we know about this law, the more we want to overcome them. This process is learned by definition of law. What is definition of favorable to breaking law, and what is definition of unfavorable to breaking this law? This process is learned by frequency, duration, and intensity, how often, how long, and what priority is given in a relationship with others, within our friends. This behavior is learned by criminal and anti-criminal behavior patterns. Criminal behavior is an expression of general needs and values, although these are not an excuse to commit crimes. The need of money, for example, is not an excuse for us to go and rob a bank. 2. Differential identification theories by Daniel Glaser. People pursue criminal behavior to the extent they identify with members of reference group who engage in criminal behavior, like gang members, for example. 3. Social learning theories. Social learning theories by Albert Bandura believes that learning theories are an action extension or branch of learning theories. This is a process that develops through social learning theory through modeling and imitation. This process developed during infant years by looking, touching around shapes, sizes of objects, and distinguishing colors. This process as well developed during school years through learning game activities. Furthermore, this process developed by interacting with other kids from school, daycare facilities, churches, etc. This learning process developed as well through hands-on activities. As we do things, we learn when we are a child. This process developed as well by doing things that other kids do. By imitation, monkey see, monkey do. As this little girl, for example, she wanted to be like mommy by wearing makeup. This little boy, he wanted to be like daddy by doing what daddy is doing. This process as well is learned by imitation. As a child like a monkey does what an adult does. Aggressive behavior is learned through sport activities. It's also learned through video games. It's also learned through the media by TV and movie. Now I transfer to Maria Gonzalez. She'll talk about control theories. Thank you.
Now I will be discussing control theories. There are 6 sub-theories within it. The first one is containment. Then we have neutralization and drift. social bonding, self-control, control balance, and coercive control and social support. So what are control theories? The view that people refrain from deviant behavior because diverse factors control their impulses to break social norms. Norms are things that are normal or expected, and deviance would definitely fall outside of that norm circle. Our first type of control theory is containment, and there are two types of containment. We have inner containment and outer containment, which both help prevent juvenile offending. Some examples of inner containment would be positive self-concept and tolerance for frustration. And for outer containment, we have family influences. So here we have an example of inner containment, which is just positive all around feeling, thinking, and acting. And then example for outer containment, which is family influences, so just a supportive family. Next we have neutralization and drift. Before committing delinquent acts, adolescents develop techniques of neutralization or rationalizations to minimize any guilt they might feel from breaking the law. So an example of that would be just taking the blame away from yourself, neutralizing or rationalizing the situation, maybe pointing the finger at someone else. The third type of control theory is social bonding. Delinquency and crime are more common among individuals with weakened social bonds to conventional social institutions such as the family and school. So person who's kind of antisocial at school or with their family would have more of a be more susceptible to maybe being like falling into deviance and just criminal behavior in general. Here we have a boy who is antisocial at school, just outside of the group on his own, and then maybe a girl who's just antisocial at home, not open to family members. Our fourth control theory is self-control. Criminal behavior results from low self-control, which in turn results from ineffective parenting. So parenting is always an important factor when we get to self-control, especially at a young age. Here we have two parents arguing in front of their kids, and kids obviously cannot take an argument like that, like to go on in front of them. It will definitely impact their self-control, which would then impact their criminal behavior. For our fifth control theory, we have control balance. People are more likely to engage in deviance when they are either very controlling or very controlled than when they have a balance of control. And here we have an example of both. So the girl is being very controlled and the guy is very controlling. No control balance there at all. Would most likely end up in deviance. And finally we have our sixth control theory, which is coercive control and social support. Coercion at either the micro or macro level promotes criminal behavior, while social support at either level reduces it. So, an example of a coercive control would be, someone who's both verbally and physically abusive, versus social support, who is someone or just a group of people who are just supportive in all things. And that is the end of our control theories.
Hi, my name is Tarevika Cohen, and I'm doing the life course theory. I would like to start with the integrated strain control. In the book, it talks about weak social bonds, strain and delinquent peers contribute to delinquency. Adults with weak bonds and strain are particularly vulnerable to the delinquent peers' influence. Strain may weaken even strong bonds, and this increase delinquent peer association and delinquency. As I said, delinquent peer pressure leads to personal delinquency, and we are who we associate with most of the time. As here, the boy makes a mistake of painting the walls of the neighborhood. Next one will be the example of the interactional. As there is an example here, how we interact with our peers determines the behaviors and beliefs we develop. If we surrender to that and of disruptive peers, we become disruptive also. In the book, it talks about weak social bonds and delinquent peers contribute to delinquency. Delinquency and delinquent peer association may also weaken social bonds and increase delinquent further. So the result is creation of a bad habit. So here they offer him a marijuana. So if he accepts it, then he's in a trouble if he cannot stop himself. Next one, I would like to talk about the life course persistent, which is antisocial behavior occurs during adult skin, way of expressing maturity and independence from parents. So life course persistent, in the book it talks about some individuals antisocial behavior is serious, persist adult skin limited through the life course, and it begins during childhood because of neuropsychological and other problems. A much greater number of individuals' antisocial behavior occurs only during adult skin. It's relatively minor in its way of expressing the growing maturity and independence from parents. An example here is the child abuse, where the girl is being abused by her father. So in lifetime, it's gonna affect her. Next one, I'm gonna talk about age graded. So in the book, it says weak social bonds, inadequate parenting, and delinquent peers contribute to criminality, but turning points in life course such as marriage and employment often lead to distance from crime. So here, the boy chooses example that I give. He started as a bullying, then he goes to college, parties and all that. After that, he gets into trouble, he goes to jail. So at jail, he realizes that what mistakes he made. So he gets out, he gets married, and he makes a happy family. So lastly, I would like to say we are shaped by our life experiences. So like in the book it said that marriage and employment often lead to distance from crime. So it helps this guy to be away from the crime. Thank you.